Today on the table, we have a CZ75P1. And I just want to make sure everybody can see that because it is kind of a long name. You can see here it says CZ75P-01. So this is a 9mm. This is actually one of my favorite guns. I've shot this a ton. Besides the Beretta M9A1 for my more modern pistols, and I've had this actually for quite a while now, probably almost 10 years, but this is one of my favorite guns. I'm going to do a quick safety check before we talk a little bit about the history of it. You can see here that it is not loaded, and you can see the magazine's not loaded right there. So it comes with a 15-round mag. You can see here it's 14+1. And then you can see here, now these have, you know how like the Berettas are a little bit weird because the Beretta, you know, has that open barrel. Whereas the CZ, it's like half the rail opens. The rail is really short, as you can see here. So when you are actually, you know, when you have to pull it back or charge it, you can see that it is, you can see not much moves. See how short the, I mean, you only have just this little bit to pinch on, but they do give you a pretty good grip for you to actually, you know, to rack it at least once to charge. So that it's cool now, but this thing shoots so well. It is so comfortable to hold on to. I've shot a couple thousand rounds through it. It is fantastic. Definitely top three or five of my favorite pistols that I have that are more of my modern ones. Between that and the Beretta, if you look for just like a nice 9mm to shoot, that is just really well made. And this is all solid metal, right? It's not like a Glock. It is solid metal. And it has a perfect weight to it. The grip is perfect on it. It has these rubber grips, and they actually are rubber, not plastic. It is, and it's just super comfortable to hold on to. It's easy to holster. Great trigger. It's fantastic. If you don't have one, I'd highly recommend it. Normally I don't, you know, have this much like enthusiasm before I'm going over the history of something, but this is one of my favorite ones. But I just want to show everybody it's the CZ75P01. Now, just some little bit of history about it though. So CZ, as you can see, it's a Czech Republic. They're made in the Czech Republic. The company's been around since about 1975. At least they've been making pistols since 1975. And then what happened is that, you know, they started introducing them in 1975. They called them the Wonder 9s because they were obviously making only 9mm pistols. They made them in these 9mm Lugers. So again, all steel construction. They had a hammer forged barrel. And what happened is when they initially made these, a lot of the stuff was handmade, or at least the first round of these were actually handmade, which was actually pretty cool. So the ones made from 1975 to 1980 were actually handmade. So the things that they did with them, though, is that just because, you know, there was the whole Iron Curtain thing, and that was, you know, right after World War II, the Czech Republic was having some issues with, you know, and then the Soviet Union, all that stuff. But they really wanted to find a pistol that they could use it in the country, but then also export it. And there's a firearms expert, Jeff Cooper, and he actually considers this pistol in its original version one of the best 9mm pistols ever made. And I'd actually agree with him on it. I think it is as well. But what happened was, at least with their like domestic manufacturing of these, they had to do a lot of, because of what they were limited with manufacturing and such at the time, they had to do a lot of hand finishing. So, and it was because of the low cost of labor that they had in the country that they could get away with all the hand finishing. So, you know, what happened is that they were made of, you know, high quality steel with a hammer and hand finish, which was, you know, pretty rare for that to actually happen. So but they only did that from 1979 to about 1980. So this very first, I think there was 14,000 of them, or 14,600 of those pistols made with that quality and that hand finish, until they realized that there was a lot more demand. People really liked them. Then they obviously had to ramp up production so that they could, you know, make them much quicker. But the very first models, which were 1975 to 1979, 1980, those were all more handmade, which is actually pretty cool. This one does have a light rail. You can see here on the bottom, like the Beretta M9A1, and it is a shorter compact as well. So it is just super cool. If you have one of these, I'd highly recommend it. They make a ton of different ones. There's the CZ75Bs, there's the CZ75 pre-Bs, which they had, and those are, those are early 1980s. They make about 10 different models of their 9mm, which is on the CZ75 platform, but there's a CZ75Bs, Ps, this P01, and I don't need to list them all off just because that would be kind of tedious, but if you can look them up or go to their website and look and see. But if you just get one of these 75P1s, I highly recommend that you do, because they are fantastic. And it's kind of cool. It's got a ring hammer like you would get on a high power. It's just got a great trigger, and yeah, just super cool. Let me know if you have one. Let me know if you were in military or police where actually you might have carried one. I'd love to hear about that. And then let me know if you actually have one and if you shoot it and what you think. And thanks for watching.